Hey, welcome to the Volusion training, everybody. I'm Trevor, and I'm going to be your host. Today, we're talking about terms and conditions. Most e-commerce websites will have some kind of a terms and conditions page. Yours should be no different on Volusion. Most of them, though, when your site gets built either by you or by somebody else, Volusion comes with kind of a default terms and conditions. So on this particular template right here, let me just highlight that page. You can see it right here. Terms and conditions. I just highlighted it in blue there. Am I right? Most of you guys who are here with me live who have a site can attest to that. You should have a basic sort of template terms and conditions page. However, before you do anything on your terms and conditions, and I'll show you how to edit it here in just a second, please be sure to have your company page done first, and I'll tell you why. So let's go over to Manage Store real fast. And then let's go to settings and let's go to company right here. Hopefully you guys can all see that. I'll select company. And then I want to point out here, you've got this company name section, and then you've got this little link underneath that says more. Okay, if I click on more, I also get what's called a legal company name. Now, some of you have asked me why the distinction? What's the difference between company name and legal company name within Volusion? Well, your company name is going to be your website name. It's going to be what shows up on invoices and emails and other things. So if this is testsite.com, then I'd want testsite.com to be right there. Okay. Same with website title. You know, I could do testsite.com like that, or I could do, test site. Website title doesn't necessarily matter as much when we're talking about terms and conditions. But when it comes to legal company name, that's what's going to show up in your terms and conditions. So if you have an LLC, make sure it's put there, okay? Or if you have some sort of legal company name, right, whatever it is, put it there. Now, if you don't have a legal company name of any kind, an LLC or a sole proprietorship, some sort of a DBA or a doing business as, just put in your website name, testsite.com, okay? Because really, you own your website. The legal entity owns your website. I usually like to have my LLC there if I've got one, but if not, put in your website name and call it good. In this case, we'll just call this Trevor's Test Site LLC. Okay? We'll pretend like that's my company name. All right, so I'm going to save that. Let's make sure I come down here to the bottom of the page and hit the save button. Once that's done, let me go out and show you what the default terms and conditions page looks like. So I'm going to click terms and conditions here. And what you'll notice if you look closely, let me scroll up just a little bit. Notice that you see Trevor's Test Site LLC used throughout. All right, I suppose I could probably just hold on with my pen. Let me just underline where it's showing up. So it's right there. 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 There, so on and so forth. Oh, I missed one right here. And if I scroll down the page, I could find more uses of it. So essentially, by plugging in the correct name of your company in that spot within the company section, it therefore puts it here for us automatically. So that's why it's important that you make sure you've got that name added correctly. All right. So as we scroll down, let me just kind of show you what's on the default page. I actually don't think you guys need to come in here and change a lot. There might be a few things that you want to change. I'm not going to read all of these terms and conditions, but this is a pretty standard terms and conditions page for an e-commerce site. Real standard. You know, at some point, if you get making really, really good money, you might hire a lawyer for a few $100 and have them just look this over and add or take away anything that your lawyer feels is important. I'm certainly not qualified to give legal advice, but I can tell you enough This was created originally um, by legal people within Volusion, and it's kind of a standard terms and conditions. So there's nothing too crazy here. I'd feel very comfortable with you guys just leaving it as is. But let's just read through a little bit. You'll see what I mean. So please read through, or please read the following terms and conditions of use carefully before using the website. Um, hold on just a sec here. I've got a window that's in the way. There we go. All users of this site agree that access to and use of this site are subject to the following terms and conditions and other applicable law. If you do not agree to these terms and conditions, please do not use this site. So somebody in layman's terms for me who's here live, what did that first paragraph actually say? And yes, Cindy, we'll change that copyright information here in just a second. You'll see an outdated copyright right here. That's one of the small changes that needs to be fixed. This says the same thing that all terms and conditions pages say. It's basically like, hey, these are our terms. If you don't agree with these terms, then you're welcome to leave the site. But by using our website, you therefore agree to these terms, is basically what's being said. So first of all, there's some copyright terms. It says the entire content included in this site, including but not limited to text, graphics, or code, is copyrighted as a collective work under the United States and other copyright laws, and is the property of, and that's where it sticks in my company name, Trevor's Test Site LLC. So on and so forth. There's some more legalese in there. And in essence, guys, you don't have to go like take your website and go copyright it officially. Do you know that when you create something online, if it is yours and you created it yourself, it is already copyrighted. You own it, so it's copyrighted. There's nothing in addition that you need to do. So that's said pretty explicitly right there in the copyright section. I need to change this to 2016, which we will here in just a second. Trademarks. All trademarks, service marks, and trade names of Trevor's Test Site LLC used in the site are trademarks or registered trademarks of Trevor's Test Site. You guys can leave all of that the same. There's a warranty disclaimer. So again, this is where if you don't agree with some of this stuff, then go and change it. This site and the materials and products on this site are provided, quote unquote, as is and without warranties of any kind, whether express or implied. To the fullest extent permissible, pursuant to applicable law, Trevor's Test Site LLC disclaims all warranties, express or implied, so and so forth. I won't read all of that. I think that's pretty standard. Limitation of liability. Trevor's Test Site LLC shall not be liable for any special or consequential damages that result from the use of or the inability to use the materials on the site. Pretty standard. I don't think that needs to be adjusted. This is a good one, though, for an e-commerce site. Typographical errors. In the event that a Trevor's Test Site LLC product is mistakenly listed as an incorrect price, Trevor's Test Site LLC reserves the right to refuse or cancel any orders. I like that because every once in a while we make a pricing error, we can cancel the order. Term or termination, that's pretty standard. Notice, nothing notable to read out there. Okay, this one right here. Your use of this site shall be governed in all respects by the laws of the state of California, USA. Okay, that's a so that should be changed, right? That should be changed to your state. So that's another small change. We need to change the copyright information or the year, and then we need to change the state. So we'll go in and do that here in just a little bit. Let me scroll down. Use of this site. More legally is not overly important. Participation disclaimer. Also fine. This is all right. Third-party links. This is another good one for e-commerce site or e-commerce sites. In an attempt to provide increased value to our visitors, Trevor's Test Site LLC may link to sites operated by third parties. However, even if the third party is affiliated with Trevor's Test Site LLC, Trevor's Test Site LLC has no control over these linked sites, all of which have separate privacy and data collection practices independent of Trevor's Test Site LLC. These linked sites are only for your convenience, and therefore you access them at your own risk, so on and so forth. So most of this, guys, if you've ever read terms and conditions, you know, like whenever you sign up for something online or sign up for anything for that matter, and there's all like the fine print, right? All the legalese there. This is no different. I don't think in all the years I've done e-commerce have I ever had to draw upon my terms and conditions to enforce something that needed enforcing on my site or to back myself legally, because I certainly have never been sued for anything like this. So I don't think that should be your concern. I just think you should make sure it's accurate. And the two things that I can pinpoint right here that you might want to adjust are simply just the year and your state. So if you want to edit anything here, let me show you right where to do that. We'll go into manage the store real quick. And we're going to go under design and then site content right here. This takes you to your site content articles, okay? And I need to find the right article. A little trick I always use is I do a Command F or a Control Find, a Control F, and it gives me this little box on Chrome. And I can type in terms, and it'll quickly find it for me, which I think is nice, rather than you scrolling through all that content and trying to find it yourself. So I found the terms page. If I click on number 4, here I am on the terms and conditions, and this is where I can edit all of it. So I have to come in here and essentially find what needs to be edited. Let me zoom out a little bit because I'm going to have a hard time finding it otherwise. Here's copyright. Let's change that to 2016. And then there was something about the state of California. Yep, here it is, state of California. So I can change that to Utah. Courts located in, you got to put in your county. And I think that was it there. Yes. Okay, so once I've made those changes, I just simply hit the save button. And then it should be done. If I go back out to my site and come down to my terms and conditions, all of that should have been fixed. So here's 2016. And we'll see Utah here. Oh, there's Utah right there. Utah County. Everything should be pretty accurate. 99% of my clients don't change anything but the two things I just showed you today. So if you're not well versed on legal speak, don't feel like you have to comb through this and adjust anything. I always think it's advisable at some point when you really are doing well and money's coming in that maybe you do have a lawyer look at your terms and conditions. But I think in starting a company, what we have here is more than sufficient. All right. So guys, questions about that? This is all I'm going to cover today. Pretty brief, pretty straightforward, still needs to be done. If you've got any questions, ask. I'll put it on hold for just a minute, and then otherwise we'll finish up, okay? Yeah, even if you started your site earlier, I would actually leave copyright 2016. I mean, you'll notice on a lot of main sites out there they still copyright the current year. So that's always what I do. Or you could do copyright 2003 to 2016 if you've had it up for all those years. That's okay too, as long as you always keep the most current year listed there. Good question. Yeah, and you will have to change it every year. You definitely will. It'd be nice if Volusion just built that in, but they didn't. So just make a note and make sure you do that. That's it as far as terms and conditions go. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I hope that helped you guys out. I get the occasional question about it. I hope this answers that, and I wish you the best. Good luck on that, and then we will see all of you guys for another Volusion website development training next Wednesday, same time, same place. Thanks again, guys. See you soon.